The train station buzzes with frantic energy, a symphony of hurried footsteps and distant whistles. Amidst the chaos, a lone beggar sits defeated, his presence a stark contrast to the station's relentless motion. He extends a weathered hand, silently pleading for spare change in a world that rushes past. Each passing train whistle echoes his silent plea, a haunting reminder of dreams deferred and hopes diminished. His gaze, heavy with resignation, reflects the countless stories etched into the station's worn floors. The station's relentless rhythm continues, oblivious to the quiet despair that sits unnoticed in its shadow. Amidst the clamorous train station, a weathered beggar's sharp eyes spot a tall man. The tall man, impeccably dressed, strides confidently, an aura of affluence surrounding him. The beggar's eyes gleam with avarice as he mutters to himself, "This man looks rich. I might get good money from him." The tall man continues his brisk walk, oblivious to the beggar's calculating gaze. The beggar shifts his weight, preparing to approach the tall man, hope flickering in his eyes. The bustling train station fades into background as the beggar focuses on the tall man. Amidst the train station's chaos, the beggar shuffles forward, his tattered clothes a stark contrast to the hurried crowd. His path crosses with the tall man, whose crisp suit marks him as an outsider in this grimy realm. The tall man halts, his sharp gaze piercing through the beggar's weary facade. In a voice raspy with desperation, the beggar pleads, Sir, could you spare some change?" The tall man remains impassive, his gaze unwavering as the beggar's plea hangs in the air. A silent tension builds between the two figures, the bustling station fading into the background. The train station buzzes with activity, a symphony of arrivals and departures. Amid the hurried travelers, a tall man, his face a mask of frustration, stops abruptly. He confronts a beggar, a figure huddled against the cold wall. The tall man challenges the beggar. "You're always asking people for something, but do you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar is taken aback. At the bustling train station, a lone beggar stands as a silent sentinel, his presence almost swallowed by the crowd. His worn clothes tell tales of hardship, each patch a memory etched in fabric. With each shuffle, the cold concrete mirrors the chill in his weary bones. His gaze sweeps across the faces of hurried travelers, each a fleeting story in the grand narrative of the station. In a voice barely above a whisper, he pleads, "Sir, I'm just a beggar. I survive only by asking. I don't have anything to give," he confesses, his words echoing in the vast space. Amidst the station's clamor, the tall man's figure cuts a sharp, commanding silhouette. His voice pierces the air with a declaration of unyielding principle. "If you can't give, then you have no right to ask," he continues. "I'm a businessman, and I believe in exchange. If you have something to give me, then I'll have something to give you in return." With a final, resolute glance, he turns decisively toward the waiting train. He boards the train, the doors sealing shut behind him with a mechanical hiss. The train begins its departure, leaving the platform and its echoes behind. At the train station, the beggar sits hunched on the bench, his body trembling. The tall man's harsh words linger in the air, a haunting echo in the beggar's mind. Lost in thought, the beggar stares blankly at the bustling crowd, a realization slowly dawning. As the weight of truth settles upon him, the beggar's brow furrows in contemplation. What could a beggar possibly give? 2 days later, near the bustling train station, the beggar sits hunched, his brow furrowed in deep thought. His face displays trouble, the tall man's words echoing in his mind. The sounds of the station fade as he remains lost in contemplation. The weight of his thoughts visibly burdens him. Amidst the bustling train station, the beggar sits on his bench, a silent observer in a world of hurried commuters. A splash of vibrant color catches his eye, a small patch of flowers blooming defiantly near the tracks. The flowers bloom, a colorful contrast to the dull concrete. His eyes light up with a flicker of inspiration, a spark ignited by the unexpected beauty. The spark of inspiration takes hold. Amidst the gritty expanse of the train station, a beggar finds beauty in the wildflowers growing near the tracks. His eyes light up as a thought blooms in his mind, as vibrant as the flowers in his hand. A revolutionary idea dawns on him, a simple exchange of nature's beauty for human kindness. With newfound purpose, he declares, "What if I give flowers to people in exchange for whatever they give me?" His hopeful gaze turns towards the bustling station. The flowers a symbol of a new beginning. A lone beggar boards the train, his weathered hands clutching a cluster of vibrant flowers. He shuffles down the narrow aisle, his gaze sweeping across the faces of the passengers. The beggar extends a flower towards a passenger, a silent offering amidst the rhythmic clatter of the train. His eyes, etched with stories of hardship, search for a glimmer of connection. The flowers, a fragile burst of color, juxtapose against the muted tones of the carriage. Inside the moving train, a simple act of kindness unfolds as passenger one smiles, accepting a flower. Passenger one, with a beaming smile, reciprocates the gesture by offering money to the beggar. Mirroring the first act of generosity, passenger two extends their hand, offering money to the beggar. The beggar, once merely an anonymous figure, now stands tall, a sense of newfound purpose radiating from within. The train continues its journey, carrying not just passengers, but also seeds of compassion that promise to blossom in unexpected ways. Weeks later, the train station buzzes with life as the beggar begins his daily ritual. Each morning, he gathers flowers, a routine born of necessity and hope. He approaches passengers, offering his floral gifts in exchange for what they can spare. The air is filled with the murmur of gratitude and the clink of coins, a symphony of renewed generosity. Kindness blossoms as people give more than before. Touched by his simple offering, a silent understanding passes between them, a shared moment of human connection amidst the daily rush. The train rumbles along the tracks, its rhythmic clatter filling the carriage with a steady, hypnotic pulse. Amidst the passengers, the beggar's eyes suddenly light up, spotting the tall man across the aisle. A surge of hopeful eagerness washes over the beggar, his face alight with anticipation. Driven by nervous energy, the beggar begins to make his way toward the tall man. He moves with a determined purpose, each step fueled by the hope of connection. The rhythmic clatter of the train underscores the growing anticipation as the beggar closes the distance. The rhythmic clatter of the train fills the air as a beggar shuffles through the carriages. A beggar approaches a passenger with a hopeful gaze. "Sir, today I have something to give you too," the beggar says. "If you give me alms, I'll give you flowers in return." Inside the train, a subtle exchange unfolds as the tall man extends money towards the beggar. The beggar gratefully accepts the offering, reciprocating with a bouquet of flowers. The beggar's hands gently offer the flowers to the tall man. A genuine smile spreads across the tall man's face. The train car rattles along its route, sunlight piercing through the windows, illuminating dust motes. The tall man breaks the silence. "Wonderful. Now you've become a businessman just like me." The beggar remains silent, absorbing the tall man's words. The beggar is visibly moved by the tall man's unexpected encouragement. In the quiet carriage, the beggar silently contemplates his transformation. The train doors slide open, revealing the beggar, suitcase in hand, stepping into a world of newfound hope. The beggar squints up at the sky, his eyes reflecting the bright promise of a new day. A wide, gap-toothed grin spreads across the beggar's face, hinting at the joyful transformation within. His voice filled with newfound conviction, the beggar declares, "I'm not a beggar anymore. I'm a businessman." The beggar's eyes gleam with ambition as he continues with a tone of self-assurance. "I can become rich too." He clutches the suitcase tightly, a symbol of his aspirations. 6 months later, a train station buzzes with activity under the open sky. Amidst the crowd, 2 well-dressed men in suits stand out. They meet, their tailored suits a stark contrast to the everyday hustle. Their presence hints at a meeting of significance. The day unfolds, promising untold stories in their exchange. Under the bright sky of the train station, Man One's hopeful face searches for recognition. Man One asks, his voice laced with anticipation, Do you recognize me? Man 2's eyes narrow, a puzzled expression clouding his features as he scrutinizes Man 1. The air thickens with uncertainty as Man 2 admits, I don't think so. Man 2 concludes, sealing their encounter with finality. This must be our first meeting. The train station buzzes with activity as Man 1's eyes sparkle with amusement. Man 1's smile broadens, a playful glint dancing in his eyes. With a hint of surprise, Man 1 reveals, not the first, this is actually the third time we've met. Man 1 gestures expansively, an amused expression on his face. His smile radiates warmth, filling the busy station with a sense of connection. Man 1's laughter echoes softly in the bustling station, a moment of lightheartedness. Under the harsh glare of the sun at the train station, Man 2 squints. His expression hardens as he struggles to recall. Man 2 questions, really? I don't remember. He presses, seeking clarity in the glaring daylight. When were the first 2 times? The sun beats down as Man 2 awaits an answer. Bathed in sunlight, the train station buzzes with activity as Man 1 recalls a moment of profound connection. He pauses, a chuckle escaping his lips as he begins to share. We first met when you refused to give me anything unless I had something to offer in return. His gaze softens as he remembers. The second time, you bought flowers from me. He reflects on his past, confessing, back then I was a beggar. The bustling train station fades into background as Man 1 is lost in his memories. At the bustling train station, Man 2's eyes widen in utter disbelief as a familiar face pierces through the crowd. His mind races, grappling with the impossible. Wait, you're that beggar? Confusion clouds his features as he questions the transformation before him. Then why are you dressed like this today? Man 2's bafflement intensifies, demanding to know. What are you doing now? The train station buzzes around him, oblivious to the personal earthquake rocking Man 2's world. His face reflects a mixture of shock and curiosity, as if the very laws of reality have been playfully bent. At the train station, Man 1 beams with pride as he shares his story. With a nod, he reveals his past. Yes, I was that beggar. His voice resonates with transformation. But now, I am a successful flower merchant, he explains. I sell flowers in bulk, and I am traveling today for business. He credits his mentor. You taught me that we only receive when we are willing to give. The revelation culminates. That law of exchange changed my life. They laugh, walking side by side, united by shared stories.